All right, Steve, you may commence.
Thanks a lot, Bill. I'd like to welcome everyone to this June 5th, 2025 meeting of the Norwalk Shellfish Commission. The chair notes that a quorum is currently present and has attendance been taken?
It has.
And with respect to attendance, a couple of things. I'd like to welcome Commissioner Mark Hiller to the Norwalk Shellfish Commission. Mark is a longtime avid sportsman in the Norwalk area, and I'd like to take just 30 seconds, Mark, if you'd like to introduce yourself further.
Mark, you able to hear us?
Yeah, it says joining, maybe having technical problems.
Yeah, it looks like his screen froze as well.
All right, well, we'll keep moving on. And
Okay.
also from the chair, I'd like to thank Commissioner Sachs for his honorable duty to the commission and for the years that he spent with us. Approval of the minutes. So this is going back to the May meeting.
Well, that would be April, Steve.
April, sorry, you're right. Minus 2 months. A motion to accept them. That's the April minutes.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. A second?
Second.
Thanks, Commissioner Pageler. And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, approval carries. Public comment. I see no attendees. You agree with that, Bill?
That's correct. I see none as well.
Thank you, sir. Let's move right into the treasurer's report, if we could, Bill.
Sure. The expenditures report remains unchanged. We're still at $29,292. There were no expenditures or any costs incurred during the past 2 months.
Thank you very kindly. Secretary's report. No report other than just to reiterate the agenda for tonight. It's a kind of a full plate as our little commission goes. On paper, we have 26 Shorefront Park, 163 Gregory Boulevard, the Canfield Island Bridge, 18 Marion Avenue, and 66 Calf Pasture Road. Move forward to committee reports, and back to you, Bill, for the Norwalk Department of Health. Sure.
So let's see. I'm going to go do April's first. So the month of April, we had 2.99 inches of rain. The previous April, it was 3.74, and then historically 4.24 for the month. There were 3 closures that month on April 6th and again on April 12th, only affecting Cook's Ground because of rainfall exceeding ½ inch of rain. And then again on April 26th, Cook's Ground and also the CAA area. That's so Cook's Ground again above 0.5, and then the CAA because it exceeded between 1 and 1.49. So those are the closures. There's 1 bypass reported on April 14th. It was a storm sewer overflow due to a blockage. Lasted about 30 minutes. It was cleaned up. No water bodies or nothing was affected as a result of that. Let's see. Let me go to, so now for May, the rainfall was 5.73. Last May was 3.71. Historically 4.38. Again, there were 3 closures due to rainfall exceedance, 5, 6, or May 6th, all areas due to excessive rainfall. And then on the 23rd and the 31st, only Cook's Ground, it exceeds a 0.5. No reported bypasses for that month. And that's it.
Thanks so much, Bill. That leads us into the wastewater treatment plant. No report. The Mayor's Water Quality Committee. So Bill can refine my comments, but as we understand it, the Mayor's Water Quality Committee has been suspended by His Honor, and it will be reinstituted at such time that a new administration is in City Hall. And it'll be up to the next mayor as to whether he or she would like to sponsor it. Anything to add to that, Bill?
None.
Thank you, sir. Permits again, Bill.
Sure. I went down to Fisherman's World today in an attempt to get the number of sold from January until this time, but they couldn't produce all of them for me. So so what I'm going to do is, I think it's actually probably a good thing. It'll get us through to the first 6 months at the end of June. So hopefully in July I'll go down. I'll speak with them about getting in and getting there was some that were in the front office they couldn't get to them. So we'll work on getting that addressed. I'll get a full tally and we can do that for the July 10th meeting.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. The Norwalk Police Department Marine Unit, Sergeant Bisegli, please, sir.
Hey guys, nothing really to report on our end. It's all quiet from a shellfishing standpoint. Obviously, boating activity is ramping up with the warm weather, so we're expecting a pretty busy season this year. Water temp for you guys is 60, 61 as of yesterday, so probably pretty warm after today and tomorrow, though, for sure.
Awesome. Good news. And thanks for the advisory on that, as usual. Norwalk Harbor Management Commission, Chairman Kibbe, please, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Bartush. The number of things going on. One is we've been working to, and you've been involved too, to get Harbor Master Lavallo's reappointment underway. His term expires the end of this month, end of June. Typically, it can, the way the rules are written, the law is written, it can, if he's not reappointed, it just you can sort of continue until a replacement is found, and that. So we're kind of eager to get word to Hartford before the end of the month that we would recommend Bruce Lavallo's reappointment, because in my experience, he's doing a terrific job compared to some of the people I've worked with over the years. So that's well underway, and I think that's no question that our recommendation will be for his reappointment, and it'll get up to Hartford tomorrow or Monday from the Harbor Commission, a recommendation for Harbor Master Lavallo's reappointment. A lot of activity with our moorings. We've been, I believe, we're up to 8 transit moorings for visitors to Norwalk Harbor. The idea with these is they're advertised on DocWa, so people can reserve them online, $45 a night, and spend an evening in the lovely Norwalk Harbor. There's an effort to bring some of the moorings closer to Sono so that people have the opportunity to dinghy into the town dock. We have a few moorings on the north side of Sheffield Island as well, which is more of a isolated kind of a night in the country out there. But we've already had 54 boat nights or boat days on our moorings this season, which is really remarkable. And I think the commission thinks this is important in that it brings people into the city of Norwalk to see what we're all about and what we have and what kind of things we have to offer. And there's a lot here for visiting people to see, both maritime related and also just at our Washington Street and East Norwalk are both interesting eateries and drinkeries and places to be entertained. So that's a very exciting thing. We don't make a whole lot of, we don't make any money at that, but it's a very useful to have. We all have the same list, I think, of referrals that we've been dealing with. The only one that really has, it's funny, I was reviewing our minutes from our last meeting, and I went through all the referrals, all the things that require an opinion. And the one that looks the most benign is proposed changes at Cove Marina. So I think we'll all get into a discussion of that. It just caught in my funny bone a little bit, is it was kind of the tiniest paragraph in our minutes, and it's probably the most significant thing to happen in Norwalk Harbor in a very long time. So back to you, Chairman Bartush.
Thank you, Chairman Kibbe. And and thanks for getting me involved with respect to Harbor Master Lavallo's reappointment. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Great resume and outstanding performance. Mr. Stedman?
Thanks, Steve. I have a few things. Try to go through them quickly. You know that the city was able to obtain a grant of $3.5 million to redo or rebuild the Veterans Park Marina. And at the last Harbor Commission meeting, I made the suggestion that the Harbor Commission consider a recommendation to the mayor, and then that would go to the council, to name the marina after Tony Mobilia. In other words, the Anthony N. Mobilia Marina at Veterans Park. He was one of the most honorable people to serve on the Harbor Management Commission. He was chair, and he had a long term on the commission. And similar to what we did years ago with the boating center, when the Harbor Commission recommended, that was Mayor Knopp at the time, that the boating center be named after Dave Donovan, who was early chair and long-standing member of the Harbor Commission, and that's what happened then. So my request to the Harbor Commission was that they consider a recommendation to the mayor in that regard, and then if that does move forward, and Tony and the mayor were good friends, that the Shellfish Commission would consider supporting that. So that's one topic. The other topic, and we brought it up at the last commission meeting, and in the absence of the mayor's water quality committee, the Norwalk River Watershed Initiative is quite important. And as you know, that the initiative was formed, and the watershed-based plan was one of the first in Connecticut, if not the first, because of the value of shellfish resources in Norwalk Harbor, and the concern that bacteria from runoff in the watershed could adversely affect the shellfish resources. So the involvement of the Harbor Commission and the Shellfish Commission goes back 25 plus years in that regard. And now that the initiative, sort of wasn't doing much for a while, and now is back in working order thanks to the Southwest Conservation District that took the initiative to reestablish the activities. And they've retained a consultant, and they're updating the watershed-based plan. But because only $80,000 are available for the work, this is a tabletop exercise to update the policies. And they expect to have a public meeting to discuss the updated policies or proposals in August. And I think that we should all be prepared to comment on that. And we are now making recommendations to the consultant, including, for example, what we've learned from the I-95 bridge project, and to hopefully include a policy that would mean that highway infrastructure projects would result in significant improvements to stormwater management, and there won't be any direct discharge from bridge surfaces into the Norwalk River. The other topic I wanted to mention is I'm assuming some of you have been to these public engagement meetings, as they're called, for the Manresa Island redevelopment, which of course is a tremendous project with potential for much public benefit, but also that the plans require a number of permits and applications and review by both the Harbor Commission and the Shellfish Commission, and beginning most likely with the remedial action plans for the work. And as you know, that important shellfish beds surround the island. So the review of those plans has to be done in a critical way, in the public interest, and not just to process them. But those will be forthcoming. Don't know the schedule. Another thing that was of interest since you last met was the 2025 Long Island Sound Summit, which was a meeting of environmental groups from both sides, New York and Connecticut. Nonprofit groups concerned with water quality monitoring and beach cleanups. It was very interesting to learn to hear the people talk, who not interested in financial gain, but interested in clean water and serving the public. And there was a guy we met 40 years ago who was the head of the Long Island Sound EPA office, Mark Tedesco, who's retiring. He retired, I think, right after the meeting. And he made some very good comments and talked about what's been accomplished over the last 40 years since the Clean Water, 50 years since the Clean Water Act. And his comment was that standing still will mean we go backwards. So the key, and this is for every group, is how do we maintain the functionality and the positive contributions of every environmental group. I got four other comments here. Yeah, and you've read about the purchase of by a commercial entity developer of both half of Betts Island, I believe, and Calf Pasture Island, and with the purpose, I guess, of providing a recreational destination for people from the development that this group is pursuing in Westport. And you know that Betts Island, I believe, at one time was known as Lovejoy Island, and you guys can correct me about that. But Captain Lovejoy owned that island for the purpose of being able to observe what was going on the shellfish beds in the outer harbor. And I think that the total purchase price of both of those was $5.5 million. And the Shellfish Commission, John Frank was involved with a significant violation, if you remember, at Calf Pasture Island some years ago, where a substantial dredging project took place without any permits. Another topic is, and it's probably the most significant that we've been dealing with, is the status of the bill that would have amended the Harbor Management Act this legislative session. And a number of harbor commissions and legislators from other towns have been working on this since January. And I won't go into all of the details, but the agreement that we had with the legislators now is that the most recent bill, which was a bill supported by DEEP, which we all felt was problematic and sets us back, was not to be passed this year. That's the assurances we had from several legislators. I don't know what happened at midnight last night, but with the understanding that now DEEP will work with us to try to come up with a bill that's agreeable to everyone. Might also mention that two more quick things, and then I'll stop. I mentioned a couple of meetings ago that the Stamford Harbor Management Commission and Shellfish Commission, there's an interesting institutional arrangement there, because the Harbor Commission, by executive order of the mayor of Stamford, also functions as the Shellfish Commission. Now, to carry out those duties of the Shellfish Commission, what the Harbor Commission has done is enlisted a number of interested volunteers who will serve as the Shellfish Committee of the Harbor Management Commission, and will do the actual review of applications and the work, and report then to the commission for the final decisions. And it's understood now that the harbor management plan in Stamford will also serve as the city's shellfish management plan. And as an example of the first sort of application of these sorts of new institutional arrangements, there was an application last month, and the applicant did not show the boundaries of the nearest privately owned shellfish bed. And the concern was that the proposed dock would adversely affect the access to that bed. And so the commission required the applicant to redo the plans, show the boundaries of the shellfish bed, and made clear that that the applicant doesn't have a right to build a dock of whatever size they want. I mean, it's subject to review based on public interest, including shellfish interests. And then the last thing I mentioned is and this has to do with coastal management and waterfront management. You're probably all aware of what's called this omnibus housing bill, which passed midnight by the Senate, I think Saturday night. And as of this afternoon, the governor had not yet signed it. But this is a bill to emphasize and promote affordable housing. But it certainly appears, from many perspectives, to supersede environmental matters and programs, because it would allow, as of right, conversion of commercial buildings to residential buildings without zoning hearings. And there's other as of right matters as well. So there are a number of commercial buildings in the coastal area, including in the waterfront and along Water Street in Norwalk. So if those conversions as of right to residential development go forward, what does that mean for coastal site plan reviews and the application of the coastal management policies? And we've inquired of DEEP, and of course don't have an answer back. But I mean, we all can agree on the need for housing, affordable housing. But the way it looks now is, from the perspective of many, is that the goals for providing the affordable housing are given more weight and supersede goals for protecting the environment. And that has to do, that involves both development in the floodplain and But anyway, that's the end of my report, Steve. Thanks very much. There's a lot of interesting things to be involved with.
Thanks very much, Jeff.
Steve,
And
if I
just
could
for the
just
rec,
interject, just for sake of, just to make everyone know that Nick joined at 6:45.
yes, and Commissioner Johnson left at 18:50. And just for the record, that's the bill headed or on the governor's desk is HB 5002. A motion to accept the committee reports as presented, please.
Motion to accept.
Thank you, Commissioner Sachinelli. A second.
Second.
Thank you very much. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. We'll move
Hey,
forward.
Steve, can we use this as an opportunity? Because it looks like Mark's screen's unfrozen. Sorry, Mark,
Yes.
but I'd like to just say hi to you and have you give you an opportunity to say something.
Yeah, no,
Please.
I appreciate this opportunity. I'm going to have to learn as I go because this is all new to me, obviously. So I'll get to meet all you guys eventually. And if there's anything, I need to do or know, or just please feel free to reach out to me. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Moving to old business. We submitted to DEEP basically paperwork indicating that we tabled the project for 26 Shorefront Park. Just quickly, Mr. Bajek's here. If he had anything to add or subtract from the last we spoke of this back in April, please do, Jim. Otherwise, we'll just leave this as far as the commission's concerned.
I have nothing further to add, Steve.
Thank you so much, Jim. 163 Gregory Boulevard, Mr. Ryder, the agent for that. This is one that we've had on the books since April. It's quite straightforward in my humble opinion. What I'd like to do is entertain a motion for standard language, just pending our East Norwalk Commissioner Johnson, just to run down and take a look at it. I'd like to get that emailed out to Tom by next Friday, if at all possible.
You looking for a motion, Steve?
Yeah, just for standard language, just pending a
Yeah,
quick.
so moved by Pagler.
Thank you. Thank you. And a second?
Second motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Satch. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Or hearing none, we'll get that out to you, Tom. But please stay tuned. You're coming up.
I'm coming up as well. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Canfield Island Bridge repair. Mr. Bajek here representing that project. Jim, I have been contacted by DEEP just in terms of what my opinions were. I really didn't tell them much. I told them that we'd have to go in front of the commission. Basically, their question was centered around any limited time for construction operations. But I'll let you take this from scratch. Please do so, Jim.
Okay, thanks, Steve. This project is to reinforce the existing pilings that hold up the Canfield Island Bridge. Also to replace the cross members that are directly underneath the bridge that connect and reinforce the pilings, and also the surface, road surface of the bridge will be replaced. So essentially what it's going to, there's 45 timber support piles that are going to be involved. They're going to be reinforced by a jacket that is going to be placed around each piling. The jacket will be inserted about 2 feet into the substrate, and there's going to be metal reinforcing rods inside that jacket And then epoxy mortar will be injected through the jacket into the voids around each piling. And the epoxy will set and form, the reinforcement. The cross members that are going to be replaced are the existing ones are timber. They're going to be replaced by metal cross bars. The bridge road surface is going to be basically the same as it is now, timber. And that's pretty much it. I showed what we're doing on the plans, if that would help. We were asked by Deep to send a copy of the application to the Shellfish Commission because there is a recreational shellfish area that goes right up to the bridge. So that's kind of where we are.
Thanks a lot, Jim. And just to note, this was being put through as a COP, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. The bridge was previously authorized back in the late 1980s to be rebuilt. It existed pre-1980s, but at that point it needed to be rebuilt. And so a permit was issued by Deep for rebuilding it at that time. So, and we're essentially keeping the same structure and doing these repairs. So that's why Deep figured and concluded that it was COP eligible.
Any objection, Jim, for this being a winter project?
I think there would be some definite pushback by the people that are going to be doing the work, just because it's going to be cold. I don't know how that epoxy is going to work in the cold weather. I would have to check on that.
Yeah.
But I do know that they want to start the work as soon as possible.
Thanks. Any discussion? Chairman or Commissioner Hiller, please.
Yeah, like you mentioned, epoxy, I don't think that's going to work either. You got to have a certain temperature. I work with epoxies all the time, and you need roughly 60 degrees above for it to set correctly. So I think that could be a problem.
When do you, thanks a lot, Commissioner Hiller, good information. Jim, when do you anticipate this could be started?
Assuming we get the COP within the next month or so. I know they do have to do some ordering of supplies and everything because they don't want to expend a lot of money before they've got the actual permits in hand. So I'm thinking probably a couple of months from now, maybe 3 months from now.
Okay, so basically just at the end of the voting season, Labor Day-ish, September timeframe?
I would say pretty close to that point, yes.
Okay. And as a
Steve,
COP, go ahead,
Steve,
Jeff.
okay.
Yeah, open for discussion. We'll go with Commissioner Pagler first. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm content with, from a Shellfish Commission perspective, to move for a motion, but if somebody else would like to discuss, that's fine.
Mr. Stedman, I saw your hand as well.
Yeah, just two comments. That the Harbor Commission had no issue with this, provided that the applicant consult with emergency services, concerning the public use of the bridge during construction and control of traffic over the bridge, and then also that they consult with the Bureau of Aquaculture, which had some conditions of construction that they applied to a similar bridge in another town. So the Harbor Commission found it consistent with the plan, provided that the applicant consult with emergency services and the Bureau of Aquaculture and incorporate their comments into the design and the construction.
And we've agreed to do both of those things.
Okay, so I think, thanks, Jim. I think we have the essence of a motion here.
Yeah, I'll move to accept as submitted.
Thank you. And a second?
No, I second it.
Thanks, Nick. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That carries. And since it is a COP, Jim, I just think I'll feed back to Ms. Hertz at Deep our commentary, especially as it relates to just those couple extra things with the emergency services and aquaculture. But thank
Okay,
you.
very good. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. 18 Marion Avenue. This is a Pier Plus, and Mr. Ryder here is representing the applicant. Tom, please, sir.
Would you like me to share the figures, or do you have them in front of you, or was that?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Great. Share. There we go. You see my the video, the audio, the photograph?
Very nice.
yeah.
Thank
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like showing it this way because this is the actual proposed dock over an aerial. It just kind of shows more detail and spatial understanding of where everything is, but I'll start at the beginning. This is 18 Marion Avenue. It's a currently undeveloped lot. They're developing it. They had requested a dock. I've been working with the DEP on this. There is kind of a other docks in the area, and there is kind of, I wouldn't call it a cove, but they're kind of a 90-degree angle here. So we stayed further to the north up here. There's a staircase. We stayed up to the north just to avoid that area. We scroll down. Sorry, here we go. So what we have is just a basic recreational dock for residential use with a fixed pier, ramp, and float. And we have, it is fairly shallow in this area. So we are proposing a boat lift. DEP prefers boat lifts in shallow areas, just for obvious reasons. You're well educated and all that. This is a pretty straightforward. I don't really have much of a presentation besides this, but I'm obviously here for questions.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. Questions, discussion? I feel we should take a look at this one as well. Chairman Kibbe, do you know if you all looked at this one as well?
We have, and the Harbor Commission, approved this with the condition that it be reviewed by the Shellfish Commission.
Okay, so maybe we'll just take a look at it and then vote next month. But I appreciate the lift. That certainly makes everybody's life easier here, and including the critters.
That's it?
Yeah. Are you good with that, Tom?
I didn't know if there's any other questions. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. Any other questions or discussion?
Nope, I think we go take a look at it. Seems pretty straightforward, but we'll
Beautiful.
see what's going on.
All right, Tom, we'll be in touch.
Great. See you next month. Take
Yeah,
care.
thanks a lot. Thank you. And last but not least, we have 66 Calf Pasture Beach Road. Mr. Hiltz is representing the applicant. I do not see John in attendance tonight.
Yeah, I just sent him an email. He may have Zoom may have not gone out to him, so I just sent him one. So he may not be able to attend.
Okay. I guess we could go to Harbor just to find out what they resolved. Chairman Kibbe?
Yeah, sure. We discussed the whole application for a while, and we're going to revisit it, tabled it until next month, because there's it's a really hugely significant project, and I think that it took a little while to get the Harbor Commission to realize the extent of what was proposed there, because it's essentially in the gap between the cove and Peach Island. It really closes off about a third of that distance with a sheet pile breakwater. I mean, this is a significant piece of construction, and it goes to within 10. It ends at 10 feet from the federal channel. So it's not a simple construction. It's a large project and it needs a lot of our attention as it moves forward.
Yeah, well taken, sir. Thanks. Does anyone know? I don't. If aquaculture has commented on this, Alan or Jeff?
I do not know.
They hadn't commented when we looked at it last at the Harbor Commission meeting. I can ask them again, but the applicant is going to revise the project plans to show the extent of the proposed wave break, they call it, to the federal channel, and show the federal channel in the drawings. And this will likely, as he mentioned, the applicant, Mr. Hiltz, will require a separate, was it 406 permit from the Corps of Engineers because of its proximity to a federal navigation project. So that will be an additional. But the drawings now don't show the relationship of the proposed extension to the federal channel. So he's going to redo the drawings and look at them later this month.
Got it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'd recommend if anyone could attend the Harbor Management Commission here at the end of this month, that would be great. Just preparatory to our next meeting a month hence.
Oh, Steve, we also asked that included be an engineering analysis of the hydrologic, if that's the right word, effects of the extended structure, on water circulation and flow.
Okay, so more than a survey, an actual study of hydrology.
Well, he indicated that that's already been done, but we didn't talk about it. So we need to have an engineer's analysis of the impact of this on hydrology, if that's the right word here.
Nothing was,
as well as just a drawing.
Yeah, nothing was presented, to really talk about in terms of hydrology, and it's important. To look at this in terms of the scope of the project with regard to the whole entire harbor, because it, just to my eye, it looks like it closes about a third of the opening of the harbor between Peach Island and Calfshear Beach. So it's a significant construction. It's back-to-back sheet pilings, steel sheet pilings, separated by, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet of sand that they intend to dredge out of the boat basin they're creating behind it. So it's a large scale project. So it's important that we look at it carefully.
And it's also interesting that in recent years, DEEP has made clear that they do not support additional structural means for shore protection and structures such as this. So it'll be interesting to see although the applicant indicated that he had talked with DEEP about this and was still moving forward. So there's a lot more to discuss about this.
Mr. Hiltz, I was able to get him in. He's not here. Thank you, John. I apologize.
Better late than never.
Any comments, John?
I'm sorry. I just joined. I don't know where you are in the discussion. Sorry, Steve.
No worries, sir. So basically, we discussed it in brief. We asked our sister commission chair and consultant just regarding what all happened last month at their meeting.
Right.
I recommended that this commission go back, perhaps attend their next meeting just to polish up on some the asks during their last meeting, such that we could be more prepared and you don't have to say things twice, because I realize this is very complex.
Yeah, no, it's there's a lot going on, and also during the Harbor Management Commission's meeting, they indicated that they were going to get back to me with a kind of a laundry list of questions and things that they wanted further information on. So I haven't gotten that yet. So when I do and I respond, I'll be sure to copy your commission. So it's going to be a long process, Steve. I mean, it's a big project. There's a lot of there's a lot of gray area, a lot of question marks. Conceptually, obviously we submitted everything to DEEP, and they looked at it. They're going to want additional information as part of the application when it goes to them. I mean, most. Yeah, I think the thing that they're most interested in is obviously your commission, input and, harbor management. They're going to want to see a wave study, which, we'll obviously have to get them. And I think the overarching thing to remember is, there's a wave wall there now that hasn't really worked very well for a long time. And when that wave wall was created, the marina didn't really extend down that far, and now it does. They've obviously installed additional floating docks, and their aim is to provide berthing for large vessels, real long vessels, and real long vessels don't want to be bounced around by waves, obviously. And that's the goal of what they're trying to achieve there. I mean, half of it is obviously the bulkhead along Ascension, which is, long overdue. And that was the initial kind of kickoff on this. And then, the wave wall is, was looked at in terms of, one of the things that, if you're familiar with the site, there's a lot of accreted sand along the the deteriorated bulkhead along Ascension. And that's migrated from, from the east through the gap between the wave wall and the remnants of, I guess, what you could call a foundation. There was a building there, the bathhouse for Ascension, prior to Sandy. So, all that sand needs to go somewhere. And as I mentioned during the Harbor Management Commission meeting, I mean, we're right now we're exploring using it as, dewatered backfill between the, within the wave, the jetty, the new jetty. But I mean, if we're also looking at that sand as a potential resource for possibly even the city, if it, tests clean, and, Norwalk is interested in using it for beach nourishment on calf pasture, that's something that the owners are, willing to look at as well.
Thanks very much. Good info, John. Any questions while we have John with us this month?
None for me.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, so without objection, I guess we'll table this for next month. But again, let's see if as many of us as possible could join Harbor next month as attendees. By then, questions will go out to John and perhaps some answers back to application review.
Sure. All right. Very, as I said, any response I give them, Steve, in terms of questions that they had, I'll be sure to copy you so you guys, have more information.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Thanks for hopping on, John. My apologies for the late invite.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm still working. So no problem. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Great.
All right. You too. Take care.
Okay, that we've reached the end of the agenda. Unless anyone has anything else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. And once again, thanks and welcome aboard, Commissioner Hiller.
Thank you.
See, one note just to make sure everyone's aware that the next meeting will be July 10th, second Thursday.
Good point. We're going to bounce out of the 4th of July week, have it a week later. A motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Sachinelli. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hiller. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And everyone have a great yet rainy and another windy weekend. And we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Night.